Welcome to Property TV. I'm Brad Thompson from Realway Success Property Consultants. Today we're here to talk to John Huey from Bank of Queensland Manly, owner and bank manager. We're here to talk about the owner bank manager system and how it works. But first, let's go to Kevin Turner with this month's property update.
Hello and thank you. Well, right now there are about 385,000 properties for sale in Australia, according to Louis Christopher from SQM Research. This is up by about 15% on this time last year. Brisbane alone has 30,000 properties currently for sale. RP data tell us that at present we have 7.4 months worth of stock currently on the market compared to 5.6 months this time last year. That means that if no more properties were listed for sale, it would take until the end of June next year to sell what's already listed for sale. This may seem a little bit gloomy, especially if you're trying to sell. Great if you're a buyer because of the bargaining power that you have and the increased choice as well. But let me make a couple of points. The amount of stock coming on the market is slowing. We're coming into a period, the end of the year, when activity does slow just a little bit, although I should point out that properties will continue to sell during Christmas and New Year. I sometimes think that it's just the agents who will stop working. So if you are selling, now's a great time to stay focused. Get your agent to continue to market your property well and use the fact that some properties will be withdrawn at this time of year, thereby creating less competition. Do the opposite to most others and use this time to show your property to its best advantage to maybe your potential buyer. All the best for Christmas and the New Year.
Thanks, Kevin. So, John, you're owner bank manager of Bank of Queensland Manly. How does this fit in with the big four banks and secondary lenders?
Okay, that's a good question because we're unique in the Australian banking market, being an independently owned bank branch. Basically, in a word, the difference is service. It's a word in banking that is often bandied around, but I think when you couple the word service with accountability, which is what ownership of something brings, then you've got a pretty powerful combination. Yep. So yeah, the big difference is that we're very personal, we're very centralised to our own branches, so we don't have things like excessive segmentation, so where your client has to deal with one centre for this and one department for that, and there's a lot of sort of fractured relationships everywhere. Under the owner-managed model, which is what we have for the most part, for say your average mums and dads and small businesses, it's all centralised in the one spot. So there's a real opportunity to build a relationship with one individual, and when you couple that, so that's really the service aspect to it, but also service with accountability. And so when you've got your livelihood riding on it, and when you feel like you're a real part of the community because you've invested, for most of us, your life savings, you feel very compelled to be the very best you can be.
What do you feel is your main point of difference?
The main point of difference, just to reiterate, obviously the service, which is what I just talked about. I mean, that is a very significant point of difference for bank customers. But what really probably makes one person feel more connected to one bank over another is essentially the connection they have with the people over the counter or the bank manager or whoever it is they might be dealing with. And those sort of relationships build over time. And that's probably one of the big advantages and big points of difference is that when you invest and become an owner of a bank branch, which is what we are, it's a massive investment. And so you have to have a long-term outlook in order for your business to grow.
So what's your extensive knowledge in the banking industry, and why did you become an owner bank manager? That's
a really good question because I think a lot of people who bank with us come to realise, but most of the general public who don't realise is that in a suburban bank manager generally, you're getting with an owner managed someone with a lot of experience. When you think about buying anything, whether it's a food franchise or a banking franchise or anything like that, these things aren't cheap. I mean, there's a big investment. So I guess you could almost say the banker would have to have been pretty successful in life in order to get to a point where he can or she can buy his or her own bank.
Yep.
So often, with your local suburban bank manager, if which is what we are essentially, you're getting people who come from a senior management role, from corporate and business banking, private banking roles. I myself personally, my background has come from one where I was a professional investor. That is, I did it for a living for 2 years, and I made the money to buy the bank that way. I worked in private banking, business banking, and various other roles. And so, you're really getting a lot of bang for your bucks.
Thanks so much for that, John.
Thank you, Brad.
The sheer magnitude and quality finishes of this absolutely beautiful residence is waiting for a family to claim it and make it their home. From the grand entrance through to the gourmet timber kitchen with open plan living, all flowing seamlessly out to the spacious rear eastern deck. The master bedroom has huge walk-in robe and luxurious ensuite. With ducted air conditioning, gleaming Quilla timber floors and ornate 2.7 metre ceilings, no expense has been spared in creating a relaxed yet prestigious environment.
Wow, what a great feature property. For any information on today's feature property or today's show, please give us a call on the office number on 3396 1199 or do visit our website www.realwaysuccess.com.au. Thanks for watching. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.